What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. And yesterday during my live stream on TikTok, I actually got a question that I think can be very useful to a lot of engineers that are coming behind, or maybe you're getting offers when you enter the field and you enter level position and you really don't know whether or not you should take a lowball offer or a low paying offer, whatever low means to you. Now, the first thing that I want you to take into account is that you need to define what low means. Is it low compared to what your friends are getting or what your classmates are getting? Is it low compared to where you'll be living? So you got to take those two things into account to make a decision on whether or not a offer is actually a low offer. Now, the next thing that I want to say is that if you already counter offered, don't forget to counter offer. That's my point. After you already went through, I'm going to assume that when you ask this question, you already went through the negotiation process and you already countered and they came back to you saying, you know what, I am not paying you more money, take it or leave it. So if you are in that position, then there's a couple of things that I want you to consider when you are making such decision. So the first one is pretty obvious, and it's going to be how desperate are you? Are you someone that you are really just trying to get something going, you're trying to make some money, maybe you need to pay the bills, you need to start paying your student loans, and you really don't get any other offers? Then I highly suggest that you just, I personally would just take the offer. Now, there are gonna be some situations, I guess that I've seen people in the past where it doesn't matter how desperate they are, they just don't wanna take the offer, but then, and that's their problem. But I would take the offer. Not to mention, because I think that it will be worth just getting a little bit of experience. If I'm trying to get on the field as soon as possible, make some money, I think that it will be worth using a year or a year and a half, and then grow my skills, expand myself, again, improve my skills, and then later on use that company to pivot or as a stepping stone to get to a better, higher paying position. Now, the second thing that I want you to take into account is how hard was it for you to get this position? How did you luck out, or are you sure you're gonna get more offers in the future? Like, it's one of those things like a bird in hand is worth, or what is it? It's better than having two in the bush or something like that. Anyway, so think about that too. How hard was it for you to get this position or this job offer? How hard do you have to work to get it? So take all that into account, because if you let this one go, then you're thinking, okay, well, hopefully I get another offer. But then if the offer never comes, then you're gonna be in deep trouble, and then who knows, you may end up working somewhere completely unrelated to engineering, and that's something that as graduating engineers we definitely don't want. Now, the next thing that I want you to consider, and the next part of this video, is going to be kind of considering a multi-dimensional approach to a job offer. I know that a lot of times, we get caught up in the take-home pay. How much am I going to get paid? What's my yearly salary? What are the bonuses that I'm going to be given? Any potential overtime. So we focus a lot on the money, and of course I don't blame you. I'm like that too. We focus on the take-home pay. However, there's a couple of other things that we should consider when making such decision, especially if you're considering taking a job based on the salary itself. So the first one that I want you to take into account here on this part is the benefits, the 401k, the matching. Are they going to give you any signing bonuses when you first join the company? Do they have really good healthcare benefits? Who knows? Maybe you are needing some, let's say, some type of insurance that can really work out for you, or maybe you have a family. So take a look at all of that. Also, take a look at the industry and network that where you will be in the next couple of months or years, however long you stay at a certain company. Pay attention to, maybe you will be in a highly profitable industry. Maybe you've been trying to get in a certain industry, but you're considering not to now because you're not really gonna get the salary that you wanted. So think about this and think long term and see how being in this industry, or how being part of this network is gonna help you in the future. Maybe you are someone that you've been trying so hard to get into the, let's say, for the sake of example, to get into the aerospace industry. So you've been trying so hard to get in the industry, but then the first offer you get is a lowball paying offer. So if I've been trying so hard to get in the industry and that's my first offer, I would take it, get in the industry, and use that as a stepping stone to, again, pivot or go to other companies that could pay me more in the future. Now, the next thing that I want you to take into account is the promotion potential. Is this going to be a position where you're going to be paid and you're not going to get promoted? There's no opportunity for growth. The ceiling is very low. You don't, after you ask and you start digging a little deeper, you realize that it's a dead end. There's really no much opportunity for expanding yourself, growth. And so in that case, that's a big, I want to say that's a critical item, because you don't want to be stuck in a position where there's going to be no growth, nothing is going to happen, you're not going to be expanding yourself, you're not going to learn any skills. So take that into account and think about that for a second. Now, a couple other things, stay with me here. Another one is the company culture. I think that sometimes, we get caught up in the number, or maybe the company culture says, I don't know, I'm gonna give you this many holidays a year, or maybe they give you bonuses as long as, who knows, as long as you deliver a project on time, or maybe if you're a sales engineer, who knows. Obviously, like that has to do a lot more with bonuses. But think about the company culture, what it has to offer beyond just the salary. Do they treat their employees well? And to be completely honest with you, the company culture is one of the things that it's one of the reasons why I'm staying with the company where I'm staying nowadays, because I really like the company. I like the person that I work for. He's a really nice guy. He obviously also disburses and gives us bonuses and things like that. So all that makes me reconsider looking for another opportunity, because the grass is not always green on the other side, not always greener on the other side. So think about that. Also, as I already mentioned, the culture. And also another thing to consider is traveling. A lot of the times when we are young engineers, we don't really think about this, but traveling is actually one way that I used to make a lot of money, banking a lot of money and volunteering to go for long periods of travel. And the reason this happens is because when you travel a lot, I want to say, in my experience, at least, I don't know if it's like this for all companies, but in my experience, you get paid, you get per diem. When you travel, the company pays for your expenses. They pay for your lodging and your food. And so they usually give you a flat rate. Let's say, for the sake of example, they give you $100 a day for however long you are on travel. Now, they don't really ask for receipts. They just give you money, and they give you the money they're supposed to give you based on the locality where you're going, where you're going to be visiting. So in my experience, you don't really end up spending all of the money they give you. And so that's one way that you can pocket a little more. Maybe if they give you $100 a day, you only end up expending $30 or $40 a day. So then you get to pocket like $60 or $50, obviously depending also how much you eat and how much you actually go out to when you're in travel. So if you are going to be going on travel for long periods of time, then maybe that's one way that you can increase your income by pocketing the travel money that you would be given through your per diem. Now, that's another way. That's something else that you can think about if you're going to be in long periods of travel. Another thing, finally, is think about the skills that you'll be learning there. Are these going to be valuable skills that are going to be useful for your niche? Are these skills that you've been trying to learn on your own? Maybe the company is going to pay for your education. So those are all things to consider when making such a decision of taking a quote-unquote lowball offer. Now, the final thing that I want to point out in this video is think about how much more would other companies pay you. How much more? What's the difference, right? What's the delta? Are you really going to, let's say, decline an offer from a company that has a really good benefits package, and assuming everything is good, but then the salary is a little low? So would you decline an offer from such company just because you want to make an extra $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000? So think about that for a second and see whether or not it's going to be worth it. At the end of the day, obviously the decision is going to be up to you. Also consider if you're going to have to travel. And when I mean move, also consider if you're going to have to move to another area for the company. If it's in your hometown and you want to stay in your hometown close to your family, to your friends, there's nothing wrong with that. So these are all some things that I think you should consider when taking an offer into account. It's not just about the money that you'll be given, the take-home pay. So don't just focus on that. Also expand your vision a little bit and make a multidimensional analysis and approach to you taking and considering a salary for an engineering company. So with all that being said, if you're watching this video, most likely you are either curious about it or you already got an offer. So congratulations on that. And if you haven't gotten an offer yet, keep working, keep grinding, and I'm sure the offer is going to come. All right, guys. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below what other considerations you would have when evaluating a job offer. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.